So let's continue. Just a quick one before I forget. There's a way I could get the last character of a string by doing something like this. Like I say print, I say string dot so string index minus one. So this will also give me the last character of a string, right? By the time I do this, open my terminal. Why is this taking a bit of time before it could open? Now, if I clear my screen, I'll run Python uh, class 1.py. You can see it's also going to give me the last element of the string. So please take note of that. So, still on string method, we've seen the capitalize. Let us look at the upper method. Now, how do we do the upper method? So, let me say upper, right? Now, this is used to return uppercase. So, if I say print string dot upper, and this will give me the uppercase of the string. If I run it, it will convert everything to capital letter, right? Then also let's look at the lower method. As you all know, this will give me the lower case of the string. So if I say string dot lower, right? Now don't forget what I was having was kind of a title case. So by the time I run this, you can see I'm getting small letter CodeFest Institute of Technology. So that's for the upper and lower method. And now the next method on our list is the swap case. Now what does the swap case do? Swap case is used to convert capital to small letter and small to capital, right? So what does that mean? So if I say swap case, I can do something like this. I'll say print string the swap case, right? By the time I do this, I clear my screen and I run, I can see what I'm getting. So I'm getting CodeFest Institute. So as you can see, capital letter C has changed into small letter C, and capital letter R changed into small letter I, then ODEFEST. So that's for that. You can see now those ones are not capitalized. So that's for the swap case. Then the next on my list is the len, which we've already talked about. So len, like we said, gives the length of a string, right? Then I have the replace method. Now what does the replace method do? The replace method is used to replace a part of a string. Now what I was having is CodeFest Institute. So if I say replace, I can do something like this. Print string dot replace, right? Now I can start to replace institute. I can start to replace this with academy, right? So provided it exists, so it's going to replace it. So you can see now I'm now having CodeFest Academy instead of institute. So another example is by doing something like this. If I want to replace the I with A, this doesn't make sense. So if I run this, you can see CodeFest Institute. It doesn't make sense though, but this is just a replace method. So let me delete this guy. Then now the next on my list is count method. Now count is used to return the number of a certain character in a string. Now if I say count, I can do something like this: print the string dot count. I want to count the numbers of E I have inside of CodeFest Academy. So I think this is theory. So this is it. So that's where that one is coming from. Let me run it again. I'll clear my screen. So that's the count. So I can count the A, right? So A will be 2. Okay, 1. Since this is case sensitive. Oh, 0, 0, 0. Oh, sorry, institute, not academic. So A will be 0 since there's no occurrence of A. So if I type O, let me see what I will get. O is 1. So please take note of that. So you can see I only have one O in this spelling. Right? So the next on my list is starts with, right, and ends with. Now this one should return a boolean, but before I do that, let me just do split. Now split method is used to bring part of a string. Now let's say for instance, I have email to be equal to, okay, fine, part of a string, and it also converts a string into an array, right, or a string into a list. So if I do something like this, print string dot split, right, and I split with respect to this. See, if I run this, I'll get an array of 2 elements. Now let's say for instance this one are joined. I can do something like this. I'll get an array of 1 element, right? I can also split with respect to space and with respect to nothing. This will automatically split with respect to okay. So this split with respect to the space. That's why I'm having two elements. So please take note of that. Then now you've been to some websites whereby if you want to create an account, they will only ask you to put in your email. They won't ask you for username. Then after adding your email, they will create a username for you by using your email. So an example is when I have something like this, right? So if I have email to be equal to codefest123 at gmail.com, right? So I can see print email dot split, right? Now if I split, it will just return an array of one element. So it's just the same thing as splitting with nothing, right? Coming back in JavaScript, this is supposed to give me something of 8 elements. Well, that doesn't work over here in Python, so let's submit that. Now I can split with respect to art. Now if I split with respect to art, it will give me an array of 2 elements, right? So arrays are also zero base index. So by the time I do this, by the time I do something like this and I try to get the first one or the first element by using index 0, you see I'll get the username. So I can set this to be equal to username variable, right? I can say let my username be equal to this. Be equal to this. And I'll print username now. Username. So by the time I do this and print, you can see I'm getting code first. 1, 2, 3. So that's for that. Now let's look at start with, ends with, find, is unknown and the rest. So let me look at find first. I want to take all the boolean together. All the ones that return the boolean together. Let's look at find. Find is used to return the particular index of a character, right? So to find the index that character is resting on or sitting on. So if I say print, so let me say find. If I say print, right, string dot find. Now I want to find C. Now as you all know, C will be index 0, right? So please take note. So if I find E to give me the first index of E, which is index 3, so 0, 1, 2, and 3, right? So please take note of that. That's what the find is doing, right? So take note. So it's just like the opposite of indexing. Now let's look at start with and end with, right? So I'll say start with and ends with. Now these two are used to return a boolean. Now if I say string, let me say print, right? String dot start with, let me say start with C. Of course, this will give us true, capital letter C, right? So if I use small letter C, since this is case sensitive, it's going to give us false, right? Of course, this is what is starting. If I put any other alphabet, it won't work. It will give me false, right? So let me go back to C. Then also let's look at ends with. So if I say print string dot ends with, right? So ends with E, it will institute, right? I think we are using institute. Okay, good. So it's going to work, right? So if I run this, I'm going to get true and true, right? So of course, if I put something next here, let me say I want to comment this. By the time I run, I'm going to get an error, or sorry, false rather. So please take note of that. So we're using E, so take note. So when I run this, I'm going to get true, right? So take note of that. I'm sorry I'm a bit fast because a lot has happened today. At first, I lost the recording. Secondly, I made a record and I lost the audio. Like, I'm kind of, but let's just push it going. Now, let's look at Isanom, right? Now, let's look at is anom, what's it called? Is alpha, is alpha, then and is numeric, right? So let's look at these 3 methods. So now if I print is anom, anom. Now anom means alphanumeric, right? So if I say string dot is anom, string dot is anom, string dot is, so let me just go back. String dot is anom, string dot is alpha, and string dot is annum, alpha, and numeric is numeric, right? Now this is going to give us false or true. So let me show you why. So if I clear my screen, clear my screen, and I run this, sorry, and I run this, I'm going to get all false. The reason is because this was supposed to give us true and true, annum and alpha, because this is alphanumeric and this is alphabet. But because of this space, it doesn't know how to read the space. So if I remove the space, I'm going to get true, true, and false, right? So please take note of that, take note of that, take note of that. Now, if for instance there is 1 2 3 as well, I'm still going to get the same result. Why? Because alphanumeric, okay, sorry, I'm still going to get I'm going to get true for the first one because that's alphanumeric. Then second one is alphabet alone, it's going to give me false. Then this one is going to give me false as well. But if this is just 1 2 3 on its own, I think I'm going to get false, true, and false, right? So if I run this, you don't know, sorry, true, false, and true rather. True, false, and true. Why? Because this is alphanumeric, so there's a number there. Alpha, no, it's not only alphabet, but it's also numeric. So true, false, and true. So that's for that, guys. So let me leave it at the default. Let me just do something like this. And let me just do this. So you know what this will give me? It will give me false, 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 right? Now take note of that. Then the next thing we're going to be looking at is slicing. So how do we slice a string, right? Now if I print, you just to see string. Now let's say I want to get code first. I'll just say 0, then colon. The column is used to slice. If I do this, it will give me everything starting from 0 to the last, right? But I don't want that. So let me count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now if I should come back here and add 7 where the t is, it will give me up to that extent minus that t, right? So I need to go a step further. Is that not so? By the time I run this, I'll get code first. Now I can also get from 9 to the end, so that will give me institute, right? So 9. Now when I'm going to the end, there's no need of stressing myself. I can just do this, so that will give me institute. So clear my screen. So that's for that. So we're pretty much done with the string, functions, and method, right? Then the next thing I will look at is let me go back to my PowerPoint slide. Now my PowerPoint slide, the next thing we have here is okay, string manipulation. We just completed string manipulation. So that's that about string manipulation. The next thing we're having here is control flow and conditional statement, right? So let's go back now. The control flow and conditional statement, how are they used? So let me just come back and say control flow and conditional statement, right? Now these are reprogramming. Now in control flow, we tend to control the flow of our logic. So then we have something like if, like s and elif, right? So let me just say if, elif, and else, right? So let me just comment this, right? Now, like I said, this is to control the flow of our logic. Now, they always return a boolean or give certain reasons based on if a condition is true or false. Now, let's say, for instance, in the morning, you want to eat jollof rice, or let me say fried rice, and you send somebody to help you get fried rice. Now, what do? You tell the person that if you go to the restaurant or eatery, any of them, if you can't find fried rice, just help me get jollof rice. You get. So now what is happening now? You are making a choice. You get based on what is available. So that's like an if statement. If this one is available, bring it. But if it's not available, give me something else. So that's for that. So how do you do that now? I can say let each be equal to, oh sorry, this is not let. Just say each. I'm used to JavaScript syntax. I can say if each right greater than 30, right? Print old man, right? So if I do this and I run, you can see that I'm not getting anything. The reason is because age is not greater than 30, is equal to 30. So if I do something like 31, right, this is going to work. Now what about if it's 30 now? That's why I say there's an else statement. So the else is what will be executed just in case the if statement is not there. So I'll say else, right? I'll say print young lad. So if I do something like this, right? If I let me not use young lad, let me use young guy. If I do something like this and I run this code, I'll get young guy. Is that not so? So let me talk about other types of operator. Now, there's what we call comparison operators in Python, right? So this is where we have the greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, right? Double equal to, and not equal to. So please take note of this. So these are comparison operators. So please take note of them. So I have the greater than. When you are using this symbol, you want to compare between two values. Which of them is greater? Which of them is better? And so on and so forth. So let me just give an example. An example of something. I can say print 59 greater than 7, right? So of course this is going to give me a valid answer true. But if I do something like 70, of course this is going to give me false, right? So I can do something like print 7 double equal to 7, right? Now if I run this, I'm going to get false. Now this is because this is checking for value as well as data type. If you look now, the value of this is equal to the value of this, but data type is not the same. One is int and the other one is a string, right? So I think if I do 7.0, let's see. This is supposed to, okay, this is giving me true. Okay, wow, that's good. Okay, both of them are numbers though. Okay, so let's leave that aside. So if I do 7 equal to 7, of course I'm going to get true, right? Right, so please take note of this. So you can see comparison. If I say 7 greater than or equal to 7, I'm also going to get true, right? If I say 6, I'm going to get true as well. But if I say 8, I'm going to get a false, right? Because 7 is not greater than or equal to 8. So that's that about that. So now let me just do something like that. I'll say I'll say color equal to green, right? And now I'll see if color is double equal to, sorry, I'm supposed to use that, color is equal to green. I want to say print color is green, right? So let me just copy this, paste this, right? So I can use the elif statement, right? Now the elif, like I said, we can have more than one. So elif the color is equal to red, then we can print color is red. I say elif color is equal to blue. I say color is blue, right? So I can do something like this at the end. I can say s, sorry, s. Now because if there's no else statement, now what should happen? Just let me run this code. So I should come over here, clear my screen and run this code. You can see color is green, right? So if I should change it to blue, right, I'm going to get color is blue. But if this is pink, for instance, and I run this, I won't get anything, right? Now, but if there's a default else statement, let me say I have something like this. I can say print no match, right? So if I run this, you guys can see what I'm getting, no match. So I can clear my screen, right? So please take note of that. Let's see. So I wanted to know if there's a switch statement in Python, but I don't think there is unless you create your own custom switch function. So let's proceed. Now the next thing we're going to be looking at is let me just go over to my PowerPoint slide, right? So it's loops. Now what are loops in Python? Now loops are ways of running codes repeatedly, right? Provided a certain condition is met. So let me say provided a certain condition is met, right? Now there are two kinds of loop in Python. I have the for loop and while loop, right? Now for for loop, how do you write a for loop in Python? I can say for I in range, right, 100, right? I can say print I. Is that not so? So this is a loop. Remember I showed you guys this thing earlier on. I showed you this thing earlier on. So if I should run this, I'm going to get 1 to 100 or stuff, right? So if I want 100, I can do this, run this again, right? To be up to 100, 0 to 100. Now if I want to get even numbers as well, I can say if x mod y equals 0, right? I want to get even numbers. Is that not so? So this if sorry, not I'll say I mode 2 rather, not X mode 2. If I mode 2 equals 0, I want to get this. So if I clear my screen and run this, you can see it gives me only the even numbers, right? So if I don't want even numbers, I will say not equal to. You can see we are now making use of the comparison operators here as well. If I run this, you can see, so this is giving me the odd number. So let me just copy this guy and say print even number. I'll comment everything at once. Let me just say double equal to. So this is print even numbers, right? Then print odd numbers, right? So take note of these. Then now the next thing we'll talk about is for loop used with list. So let me just create a list. Let me say I went to the supermarket and I want to get fruits, right? I'll get my basket. I'll say fruits basket should be equal to banana, orange, orange, apples, and strawberries. Let me just send it apple, right? So now if I print this out, of course, if I say print fruit, right? If I do something like this and I run my code, I'll get fruits, right? Now, if I want to print out these things one after the other, what can I do? I can say for I in range, right? Let me see length of fruit, right? I can say print I. In fact, there's no need of saying range, right? For I in fruit, right? So print this. If I run this, you can see I'm going to get this print, this first one is what is bringing that first print. So let me just comment this. Right, so if I do this, I'm going to get banana, orange, and apple. Right now, there's something I can do. I can say for fruit in fruit, which is singular in plural, and so on and so forth. So that will do that as well. Now, there's what we call the break and continue statement. Let me just demonstrate break and continue statement using for loop, right? So now let's look at break and continue statement using for loop. So I'll say break, because if I look at my PowerPoint slide, I think the next thing there is break and continue statement, right? So after for loop, so let me just teach for this for loop, then I'll go over to while loop. So break and continue statement using for loop, right? Now I can say for I in fruits, right? Then I'll say if for I in fruit, right? So let me just comment this out. Now I'll say if fruit, or if I, let me say I is equal to is I is equal to orange, right? Then I can say break. Then also, then after my break, I can do something like print I. Now what the break statement is doing is that break is used to go out of a loop. So if I run this, when it gets to orange, it will break out of the loop. That's what I'm getting. So I'm getting only banana. So let me just add more fruit. Let me say grapes, right? Let me say pear. Let me say strawberries. Let me just leave it this way, right? So if I say if I is equal to let me say grapes for instance, right? I want to break out of the loop. When I run this, you see what I'm getting: banana, orange, and apples, right? So this is a break statement for loop. So let me see for continue. Let me just put this guy over here, right? And now see if this is this. Let me just say continue and see what I'll get. Now if I clear my screen, around this, can you see what is happening? Continue is used to go out of that particular place and come back to the loop again. So when I is equal to grape, omit grape and continue. So I have banana, orange, apples, pear, and strawberries. So that's for loop. So please take note of that. Right? Then now, what about while loop? So let's talk about while loops. Right? Now, I can, in order for me to do while loop, the first thing I'll do, let me say I want to print numbers. I'll say I equal to 0, right? Now I'll say why I is less than 200 or 100. I want to print I, right? I don't need this over here. I want to print I. Now if I run this, I'm going to get I and 0, 0, 0, 0. The reason is because this will always evaluate to true, right? So if I run this, I can see this might even crash my terminal, but let me just close it and clear my screen. So instead, I'm supposed to increment this. You get, so by doing I plus equal to 1, right? So if I clear my screen, sorry about this. If I should clear my screen, you can see I'm getting this, right? So there's an increment now. So I can do getting even numbers and odd numbers and so on and so forth, right? So I can also do break and continue with this, but let me just demonstrate it using the field. So I can see I equal to 0 again, right? Sorry, I equal to 0. So I can see why I is less than length of fruit, right? I want to do something. I want to print. If I print I, what should I get? I'm going to get, I think that will give me indexing. This what I'm having 0 or true. So I need to increment by saying I plus equal to 1, right? So if I clear my screen, I'll run this again. You can see I'm just getting 1 to 5, right? Now please take me why, because there are 5 fruits here. Now if I want 6, I can say less than or equal to, right? So this will give me up to 6, but now I don't need 6 again. Now let me run this again, clear my screen. Now what if I want to get the fruit? It's just to say print fruit, right? Square bracket. Alright, so this will give me all of the fruit. If I run this, that's what I'm getting. Banana, orange, apple, grape, pear, and strawberries, right? Then how do we do break and continue? Let me just copy this. Paste this over here, right? So if I uncomment this, now I can now do something like this. If fruits square bracket I, right, is equal to let me break when I get to grapes, right? I want to break out of the loop, right? So I'll say break. Is that not so? So if I clear my screen and run this code, you can see banana, orange, apples, right? It's giving me banana, orange, and apple. So it's breaking out of the loop. Like I said, to break out of the loop simply means to jump out of the loop. Let's look at continue using while loop. So if I take this guy back and place this, so all I need to do is just to come back here, change this line to continue. Let's see what we're going to get. You can see I'm getting banana, orange, and apples, right? Banana, orange, and apples, right? I think I need to do something like I plus equal to 1 over here. So let me see. Banana, apples, and orange. Let me see. Banana, apples, and orange. Banana, orange, and apples, right? So I think I'm supposed to do it this way. As you can see, this thing is still continuing. Like it didn't stop the process. So let me just clear my screen. Can you see what I'm getting? Banana, orange, apple, pear, and strawberry. Banana, where's it? Let me go back. Banana, orange, apple, pear, and strawberry. So that's how the continue statement is done with Python. So please take note of that, right? Let me give this. Now I can just label this. Let me see. Let me say for loops. With okay. In fact, there's no need of labeling it. Let me just say for loop with list, right? Break for loop list and break with list and break, right? Then I can say for loop with list and continue, right? Then this will be while loop with numbers, right? So let me see for loops. Okay, I showed you the ordinary one before doing all of those. Okay, so I can say while loop with list, while loop with list, right? I can say while loop with list and break. And just copy this line of code and put this guy over here. I look with list and continue. So this for this. Now when should you use a for loop and while loop? Now for loop is used when you want to iterate through a known number of items, maybe a list or any of them. So that's the best option to use for loop. While loop is mostly used when you want when you have an infinite number of items to look from, or you have an unknown iteration to carry out. So when you are doing something like a chatbot or something, that's when to use while loop. So you want to stop the process before it will break out of the loop. So that's it. Let me just go back. So when you study further, you know what I'm talking about. So we succeeded in covering all for the one introduction, overview, getting started with Python, variable data types, arithmetic operators, string manipulation. We also looked at conditional statements, loops, break and continue, right? So this is all for the day one of the program. So let's look forward to day two of the program. Let me see. Let me just come back and comment all of the things I use over here. So guys, it's been a should I say a long video, but then we've been able to learn the basics of Python. So I think this day two of the program we focus more on the intermediate Python. So if I go over to the course outline, so these are the things we are going to be looking at. So which is we look at list creation, indexing, slicing, appending, and other operations. We look at tuples and their immutability. We're also going to look at sets, though I didn't add set over here, so we'll look at set. And after that, we're going to be looking at functions, right? Defining functions, calling function, function argument and return value, scope and namespaces, right? So please take note. Then we'll look at project and next step. Yeah, next step to take after taking this Python basic course. You have an interest in web development, you have an interest in data science and AI robotics. Like we said, CodeFest Institute of Technology offers all of those things, right? So you can pick up a career from there. So guys, see you guys today. See you guys later today for the other for the day two of the program. Thank you very much and thanks for staying. Bye guys.